All right, let's switch it up, Mike.
Awesome. We are going to our next topic, and this one I think is going to be really fun and interesting. I hope it works how I plan it in my head, how I foresee it working. Me and Earl had a great conversation back and forth on it this morning. And it's a positional draft for the Cleveland Browns, and we're going to draft what we think are the best positional units on this team. And I'll tell you guys the categories, the potential picks in a sec. But we let the YouTube chat pick the draft order today because we want them to be part of this as well. And we put up a poll.
Yeah.
And to no one's surprise, the first pick has been awarded to G. Bush with 60% of the vote. 60% of the chat, over 500 votes wanted G. Bush to have the first pick.
I'm so shocked. I'm so shocked that you guys.
You are the most loved man on the show.
Thank you so much for your kind wishes.
So who gets the second pick?
I will tell you after I tell you who brought us the poll results, and that is PCC. Got to add a little drama to this. Are you looking for a job with career advancement and great benefits? Well, PCC Airfoils is a leading manufacturer in Northeast Ohio. All locations of PCC Airfoils in Eastlake, Menor, Wickliffe, and Minerva are hiring for all positions starting at $18 and up, plus full benefit packages, paid time off, and a signing bonus. You can apply online at precast.com/careers to learn more. With the second pick in the Browns positional group draft, it has been awarded to Jason Lloyd with 24% of the vote.
Jason Lloyd, listen, you are likable.
I am the most hated. I am the most hated man. You thought you held that title?
Actually, because
I wanted the third pick.
No.
I'm taking that title from you.
No, listen. The reason they did this is because Adam the Bull. They're giving him an opportunity to show his prowess. The last time we did these, I think I got the number one pick and came up with the worst roster. And they gave it to Bull in a landslide. So you're going to get the third pick as well as the fourth pick.
That's true.
Yeah.
All right.
So
let's do this.
So Bull gets third. For everybody out there listening, here's how it's going to work. And here are the categories that these guys are allowed to choose from. Snake draft. There's 9 categories. Each person will get 3 positional groups, position rooms, however you want to categorize it. At the end, we'll vote on who put together the best team.
I think a snake draft is unfair with 3 rounds because I get to pick last in the first round, and then I'm screwed with the last pick. There should be a
you get the third and the fourth back to back.
There should be a third round reversal on this one. All right, go ahead. I'll do it.
So the 9 categories, the 9 options.
Yeah, we know that.
You have the quarterback room, the running back room, the pass catcher room. That is receivers and tight ends combined into one.
Yeah.
Offensive line, defensive ends, defensive tackles, linebackers, DBs, and then you have the coaches room. So one more time for everybody out there. You have the QB room, the running back room, the pass catcher room, which is receivers and tight ends combined, O-line, D-end, D-tackle, linebacker, DB, and coaches. So 9 different positions to choose from. You each will get 3, and after each pick, tell me why you picked them. So, G, with that, you are officially on the clock in our first ever Browns position group draft. And before you go, I want to say one more thing. This is the best. Not projecting. This is what you think is the best, strongest part of the team. So, G.
By the way, I think we should add special teams, and we only pick 9. Then 1 gets left on the table.
He's just trying to get out of linebackers.
The backers.
That is the obvious 9.
Come on, let's do that. I shouldn't get
fine. You know what? But
Go ahead.
You get who's your returner? Who are we going to consider the returner?
Whatever, just the special teams unit.
But Bubba Ventrone's in the coach's office.
That's fine.
So you get just the specialist.
You get the kicker, the punter.
Fine.
Yeah,
you get the specialist.
You
get Charlie Hughley, the long
You're
snapper.
going to let him wiggle out of linebackers.
No, that's fine. That's fine. I know what he's trying to do. I get it. You're not fooling anybody.
Let's go. I shouldn't be stuck with linebackers because I picked last. There should at least be a choice.
Okay.
Shut up.
All right, come on. Let's go.
G, you up first.
I mean,
strongest
schoolyard picks, you get stuck with the worst kid. That's the way it goes.
Easy money, man. I'm running to the bank. I'm going with D-line or defensive end. I got Myles Garrett. I got Zadarius Smith. I got young OG, a.k.a. Obo out there. Listen, I got some young guys, Isaiah Thomas I like the McGuire pick. I got some dudes out there that can move around, Alex Wright. So I got a lot of pieces and parts that I could really work with, especially on this pass rush. And I got arguably the best pass rusher in the game in Myles Garrett. So I'm looking at top end with those two, Zadarius Smith as well as Myles Garrett. You're looking at one of the most formidable couples and pairings of defensive ends in the league. I will put that down, stamp it. Number 1 going is the defensive end.
Bold move.
Is that who you guys would have taken 1, yes or no?
No.
I was between I'll give my pick away. I was in consideration for that. Yeah, that was between one of two.
All right. Now, by the way, this is not just what they've done, but what we project they will do going forward. Okay.
No, it's what we think is the best.
Yeah, it's like, what's the best? Yeah.
What's the best?
Right, but what you think is the best will include what you expect this year.
I suppose.
Yeah. All right, go ahead. You're two.
Jason with the second pick.
If Nick Chubb's there, I have to take Nick Chubb. I have to take the running backs. You can say what you want about devaluing the running back position, but we're not trying to build a team necessarily. We're looking at just the best positional group, and Nick Chubb to me is the top 3 running back in the league. I think he could be in Canton one day. It's a no-brainer, slam dunk. For me, it was between defensive end and running backs. And so I will, if Myles Garrett isn't there, I will gladly welcome Nick Chubb to Team Goose.
I like the pick.
Goose.
I like the fact that Nick Chubb. I was gonna go with that too. It was a consideration because if I know there's not too much behind him in Jerome Ford, but when you got Nick Chubb, you just take the best.
I think Ford will be all right.
I do too. I like Ford.
I think Jerome Ford probably could be your starter next year.
I like Ford.
What's interesting about this exercise, and let me talk to the fans at home. Which camera should I look at? This one?
You don't look at any of the cameras. You look at the screen.
I know that. I normally do, but right now I'm looking at the camera.
Sell it.
Hi, everybody. Let me tell you that I want to thank you for voting me to pick third. You've done right by me. Because not only at 3, because of these two knuckleheads, did I end up with the best unit on the Browns, I also still have the second best unit on the Browns available. I could argue I have the top 3 still available. Where should I turn? I don't know. Let's start with the offensive line. The best unit on the Cleveland Browns. Joel Bitonio is going to the Hall of Fame. He is the most accomplished player on the Cleveland Browns. As great as Myles Garrett is, as great as Nick Chubb is, Joel Bitonio's done it longer. He has played at the super elite level his entire career. Okay? That's number 1. Their center, Ethan Pocic, was a Pro Bowler last year. I think he was. I'm not 100% sure. But he graded high on PFF. He was fantastic. Wyatt Teller was a little banged up, but coming off an all-pro season the year before. Same thing with Jack Conklin. A little banged up. All right, Jed's not fantastic at left tackle, but he's good enough. Overall, the key on an offensive line is not having any huge weak spots. On the defensive end, I don't know. Obo's still a question mark. He hasn't done that much. There's some depth issues there. Running back, yeah, Nick Chubb's great, but he's not good at catching the ball. Offensive line, I got no weak spots. I'm ready to go.
When did
Jedrick Wills like to have a word with you?
Jedrick Wills is perfectly solid. Perfectly solid at left tackle. He's a starting caliber player.
Jack Conklin is 174 with the knees of a 206-year-old.
We know it all starts and ends with the offensive line.
This man Bull stole his wife's credit card and upgraded Jack Conklin and Jedrick Wills and Madden. Stop using them virtual coins.
Yeah, I'm looking right at the camera, people. They are fantastic.
He gave him another shield and a spat and a back flap, and all of a sudden he's an 89 overall.
89 overall. Damn right. And we're projecting ahead. You see, Deshaun Watson, the last time he played a full season, was the best quarterback in football. Yes, he was. He had the highest PFF grade we've ever seen, I believe.
You taking Watson?
He certainly was number 1. The quarterback room, you can't win. How can you vote? Nobody wins in this NFL without a quarterback. And I've got a guy who has been the best quarterback in the league. He wasn't last year, I grant you that. But last year is last year. He was rusty. He hadn't played in a while. This year, he's going to be fantastic. He is going to throw a ton of touchdowns. G. Bush has told you a million times he's throwing for 5,000 yards. So I don't know how G. Bush can argue against it. Quarterback, offensive line, you're all set.
Man, by the way, Bull has that voice of the Jehovah's Witness knocking on your door on Saturdays. Like they're so nice. They'll tell you, they'll be like, listen, hey, I love you guys out here. Oh, yeah. What are you doing? Where are you going to? Where are you worshiping at?
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, and Bull's like, I'm Jewish. I don't know. We're not doing all of that. No, you thought you got that off. That was a good try.
I got it.
I like Watson. I like Watson at 4. It's okay.
But the woman on the phone I was talking to today, she was flirting with me on the phone because she liked the sexy voice. I was talking to a woman from the health insurance company. It's okay that you flirt with me. I'm a married man. I'm not going to do anything about it, but I appreciate the flirting.
Who's on the phone? It's Bull from the UCSS. What?
All right, Jason. Now that you're in dire straits here for the number
Before
5.
Jason goes, any objections with both 2 picks?
I'm not. The Watson pick is a projection.
A little bit of a reach. A little bit of a reach.
Now I thought the O-line was a reach. I think there's somebody sitting on the board that's ripe for the picking for Jason.
A 5 is an easy choice. There's only one option, really, I think.
Well, now y'all putting the pressure on me when you start talking like that.
Yeah,
I mean, for me, it's defensive backs. Because Martin Emerson, I think, is going to be a stud. I know he only had 1 year, and we can fall into the rookie trap. I think he's the real deal. He's got a massive frame, long arms, can be just a terrific lockdown corner. They already have one on the other side in Denzel. He's going to miss 4 games. We know that. But in the 12-13 that he's out there, he is elite. And when you add Greg Newsome in the slot to that, when you add Delpit behind him at safety, I think that the secondary with the defensive line that they have playing in front of them could be really, really, really good. And just based on Emerson and Denzel alone, give me the defensive backs.
Hey, everybody was saying great things about Greg Newsome after his rookie year. He shit the bed year 2. We'll see if Emerson does the same thing. I don't know. The safety's unproven, and Jason's talking about locked on. We know G. Bush.
Your quarterback couldn't complete a
Come on now.
Your quarterback couldn't complete a pass over 4 yards last we saw him. Just saying.
Greg,
he was rusty.
Now, Greg Newsome, we waiting on them picks, Jason. We waiting on that production.
Greg Newsome hasn't had a pick since middle school.
It's all right. He's playing slot.
That's his job. All right, G. Bush.
G. Bush, you have 2 in a row, but give us your first. We'll talk about it, then give us our second. So with the last pick in the second round, who you take?
Listen, this is very easy. So what you didn't know
I know
is that I put a monster trap card face down. And because I was able to do that, I was able to take one of my monsters from the graveyard, bring him back, because Jason didn't understand that I got to attack his health and life points directly. Now I bring the Dark Magician out. I play my move, Wing Dragon of Ra. No, actually, I'm going to just go ahead with my Yu-Gi-Oh scheme, and I'm just going to take the wide receivers. Give me the wide receivers.
Pass catchers.
Give me the pass catchers.
Yeah.
And by the way, thank you for adding additional life points to my monsters. And I have a Blue Eyes White Dragon ready to go. Now, listen, I'm going to tell you what. David Njoku, top 5 pass catching tight end.
No.
Top 5 on projection.
Oh, projection. Okay.
Projection. Now, I think he's going to be involved in the offense a lot more with this passing attack. You already had Amari Cooper. You get a whole year of Amari Cooper when an elite quarterback. Bull said him himself. Bull took Deshaun Watson higher than the receivers because he believes Deshaun Watson will get there. Thus, if I take what my man Bull says and extrapolate that and have the trickle-down theory, that means the wide receivers will be a better group as well. Now, Elijah Moore, you got all the pieces and parts. You got a big receiver in Tillman. You got a guy underneath in Elijah Moore. Guess what? We are now looking competent, and we just talked about it. I mean, if they get DeAndre Hopkins, this looks like another great pick for myself. So wide receivers is a no-brainer, and it can't be refuted.
This was an unfair exercise to some degree.
Oh, would you stop it?
Well, you're part of this.
I got him.
There's a dividing line after 7. I mean, there's only 7 decent units on this team. But I did so well with my first 2 picks that it might overcome it. But, Jason, you're up.
No, he's
no.
G. Bush gets to go again. And to
there's
remind
only
everybody,
6, so it's not unfair. There is only 6 good ones.
So you're
and to remind the people out there, here are the
What do
position
we got left?
groups
We
still.
got D tackle,
D tackles, linebackers, coaches,
and secondary.
and special teams. Which Bull added to this because he wanted a choice of last pick. So
you
G.
should have a
Bush,
choice. Shouldn't get stuck.
with the first pick in the last round,
G. Bush.
where you
Coaches, linebackers looking good, I think.
Listen, I'm stop it.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna go in a place that people didn't think.
Yeah. Ooh.
I'm gonna switch it up and go coaching. Ooh. I'll tell you what. Look, I love the fact. Hey, what was G. Bush saying all year? Hey, it was Joe Woods. Joe Woods. I've been on a grind to get him up out of here since 2019. He up out of here. Now you get a competent guy in Jim Schwartz, who is the father in developing some of those defensive linemen that we talked about. So if I'm gonna pick the defensive line, and I got defensive ends, I want to have the coach to get them in a position where they can get that. Jim Schwartz is that. Bubba Ventrone is well respected around the league as one of the best special teams coaches. Now the Browns special teams, guess what? They were so bad they cost them games multiple times. running into the kicker. We already can't recover onside kicks. Guess what? We happen to have a guy right now that has played here before, is not going to take no games, and is going to be a dude that's going to be ready to go special teams wise. And Coach Stefanski. Now, I've been a Coach Stefanski all the time, but here's my thing. I like what he did in going to the seminar, and my man Jason Lloyd says that Coach Stefanski is a guy that's moldable. He's a guy that is a player's coach, and they'll run whatever necessary it takes to get Deshaun Watson, your guy who you picked, ready to go. So if I take that in his word for it, it's a no-brainer. I'm going to go with the coaching staff.
All right, Jason. D tackle, linebacker, or special teams?
Well, this is easy. Last we saw the defensive tackles, they were pretty atrocious. But I have faith that they have sufficiently upgraded. Dalvin Tomlinson, of course, in the middle. Siaki Ika is just a massive human being. He'll be on the field. I'm a little concerned still just because
Jordan Elliott.
saw Jordan Elliott. Perrion Winfrey still on this team. Do I get to cut him if I take the defensive tackles?
Yes.
All gas, no break.
Yeah,
Can we find the break and throw him off the bus?
Togi still hanging out.
Togi will not be on this team. That's for sure. Especially if it's my defensive tackle. He's gone. You have to believe that Jim Schwartz is going to get the best out of this unit. And Tomlinson at least has a record of success in Minnesota. And listen, we're in the third round. It is what it is. I'll take the defensive tackle. I was hoping you would leave the coaches for me. You did not. I'd much rather have the coaches. I'm making a trade, but I'll take the defensive tackles, and I'll count on Jim Schwartz to coach them up.
We left nothing on the carving station.
We're gonna go special teams here because the linebackers are trash.
Oh, I'm surprised you went that route,
Yeah,
boo.
right. Who could have seen that coming? Let me explain something to you. Jason's entire roster, he has only 2 players that have been good for more than 1 year on the Browns. That's it. Nick Chubb, Denzel Ward. That's the list. Okay? In all 3 of his positions. G. Bush took the coaches, including Bubba Ventrone.
Yeah.
Because Bubba Ventrone is an elite special teams coach. The Browns already had a really good young kicker. Yeah, he missed some kicks last year, okay, but he hit some really long ones, including a game winner. This guy's going to be a top 5 kicker in the league this year. Punter, solid. They improved returns big time in the last year, right? You got all these guys, all these young players that are doing it in returns, and they have specifically signed 3 special teams guys, which is something they've never done in the past. I think the Browns are going to go from below average in special teams, which they've been in recent years, outside of their kicker, who's, I'd say, above average last year, to this year. I think the Browns are going to be an elite special teams unit in all phases. This is complete domination, folks. We've got the quarterback, who's been one of the best in the league, offensive linemen. The offensive line has 4 guys that have been Pro Bowlers, I think, maybe 3. And special teams led by Coach Ray Ventrone. G. Bush, he's picking the coaches. The head coach could get fired by week 5. How much can I trust that? So I obviously have the best team. And
So we will run through the teams real quick. We just launched a poll. Steve, give me tag board full here for Team Bull. Offensive line, quarterbacks, and special teams for Bull. Let me see Jason's team. Jason took running backs, defensive backs, and D tackles. And G. Bush took the defensive ends, pass catchers, and coaches. While we let the poll calculate some votes, me and Earl had this debate early this morning.
Yeah.
And Earl had the coaches as his number 1 overall pick this morning. I'm going to let Earl come in and defend his decision
what
to
the
put
hell,
coaches
dude?
at number 1. Earl, the mic is yours.
You think Donovan Mitchell's coaching the offensive?
So okay, listen. When we create content, right? I don't think y'all all the way understood the assignment. This is an entire position group. It's deeper than Kevin Stefanski, Bubba Ventrone, Alex Van Pelt, and Jim Schwartz. I'm looking at Callahan. I'm looking at Stump Mitchell, who I know has a huge impact on this coaching staff. I'm looking at Van Pelt going back to being the quarterback coach, where he truly made his way in the NFL when he was there with Aaron Rodgers. So all things considered, and plus we all know football is the one sport where coaching matters the most. So let me get this strong coaching staff in totality first, then I'll build out the rest of my team.
If the coaching staff is so strong, how come they've had 2 losing seasons in a row?
Extenuating circumstances. I don't know.
Now, your comeback.
What was the Chris Broussard report on Kawhi Leonard when he was going through, and he's like, Kawhi Leonard is definitely going to be a Laker.
Yeah.
There were circumstantial changes to make that report not accurate.
Now, in your defense, Earl, you could say, well, they didn't have Jim Schwartz and they didn't have Bubba Ventrone. And I do like the coaching staff, but ultimately, in the coaching staff room, the head coach is the most important part. And I've defended Coach Kevin Stefanski. I know Jason has a lot. We've been two of the few defenders of him, period, in Cleveland.
And I didn't take him in the first round.
But come
Or
on.
the second. He didn't take him in the first and second round.
At this point, comparatively, like if you compare the Browns coaching staff, the starting guy, the head guy means the most. Like
Yeah, but the rest of the coaches matter too.
they matter,
of course.
but like
They matter.
Myles Garrett, right? You can't. Let's say Myles Garrett was not very good. Let's say he was the Browns' #1 defensive end, and he was a mediocre player. But the Browns had defensive ends 5 through 8. They had 8 mediocre guys.
Talking about the wide receivers.
Well, I think they're a little better than that. But let's say you had 8 mediocre guys. Well, you could say, wow, we're deeper than this other team, right?
But
let's put it this way. Who's got a deeper wide receiving core? The Browns or the Bengals? Deeper.
The Browns do.
Browns.
The Bengals have a much better wide receiver core, though.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's it. It's the top guys that matter. It's the top guys that matter. And a coach, the head coach matters more than any. I mean, Stump Mitchell, is he any better than any other
Okay,
running
put it
back
to you this
coach?
way,
Come
though,
on.
boy. Put it to you this way.
Yeah.
Wyatt Teller was mediocre before he got to Cleveland, and Callahan became his
Well,
offensive
you
line
guys
coach.
just spent the killing my guy, Jedrick Wills, and Bill Callahan's so perfect. Why doesn't he get him better?
So why'd you take him in the first round then?
That's one guy out of 5. I only need him to be average. Better to have an average guy be your worst guy than have 4 great guys in a total scrub.
Now Conklin, we thought he was
He still play.
he
He's
was-
hurt. He's been hurt, but he still plays.
You could have said, hey, DeJuan Jones, he gonna take one of their spots.
So I got him as a backup.
Look, see, I would have said that.
I don't know if he's going to eat his way out of the league, but we'll see.
All right, we got the poll
Take you
results.
for lunch there, DeJuan.
For the record, I had D Ends as my #1 overall pick too, so I was in line with G. I was very not in line with the rest of you guys on everything else, which I think is the fun part of this exercise.
Yeah.
There was a top 6 or 7. You could finagle an order spot or two. The bottom 2 were the clear bottom 2, but it shows us that the Browns are pretty deep. You could really make a good argument that a bunch of different spots could be in the top 2 or 3. Our results today are brought to us by the USFL, by the way. Boogie Roberts will join us here in a little bit remote. They lost again yesterday. They have fallen to 2-5, but Boogie is killing it in his own rights. Check him out, USFL.com. Tickets for $10. A lot of fun for the entire family. And with 233 votes, the winner of the Browns positional group draft, we already know who it is. It's the People's Champ.
It's embarrassing.